Hey everyone, and welcome to the Hype Check Pod. This week we are continuing our Spider Month. that's what I put in the description, so that's what I'm going to call it. And we are deep diving into the second MCU movie, Far From Home, with our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. As always, we're going to go and have a spoiler-free chat about it. But again, Rich, Andy, boys, how are you doing? Rich, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good. Other than getting over this cold, but yeah, doing good. Got to watch a lot of movies, so when you're always sick, you just put movies on. So it's been good, relaxing weekend.
See, I don't. I'm so bad. I'll go and play Call of Duty for like 4 days, and then sit there and go, that was a waste." Please, I'm going to try not to make you cough, man, because I feel bad for you.
All good.
But,
all good.
Well, that means you've got so many movies to talk about when we talk about what you've been watching. So that's cool. So we got a bit to talk about, which is cool. Andy, how are you, man?
Good, man. Pretty well fed. Had a good dinner tonight, so that was good. Yeah, good weekend. Got a bit hungover.
I was going to say it on your behalf.
Yeah, it's getting harder to recover, that's for sure.
But we can't say that, right, man? We can't say that because we do a podcast every week where we do actually drink. So I don't know because every Tuesday night. No, I don't. I think at least 2 weeks ago it didn't feel different. It felt like we had a night out. Well, it didn't in my house.
Rough day at work. Yes.
Yeah. No, it wasn't good. And I was like, why do I feel so? Oh, yeah. It would make sense. So again, if you've never been with us and tuned into the Hype Check Pod, we base this around the pub chat, right? Like this is what we usually do when we get together, when we go out for a couple of drinks and we have that conversation around movies. And it hasn't changed. It's just more comfortable now because I don't have to catch a train or a bus home or a train and a bus and an Uber. I don't have to do that stuff anymore. So it's actually really good. Yeah, so it's not too bad as I hold this drink trying to put it to my lips. So I'm gonna stop talking for a second. So good. Yeah, my weekend was shit. Moved houses, and it was a lot. Even though we had removalists, man, it's just like for a family of 3, we've got a 4-bedroom house, 2-story, and it still doesn't have enough room. I don't know.
No.
There's 3 of us. Like, man, like my garage is it's no, we need to get rid of stuff. Like we can't help it. Like, I mean, it was just as we moved stuff, we just kept moving and it kept going. I'm like, and I finally got the room set up. So like I was saying to you guys before, I finally got the room set up like just after midnight last night. And it's not how I want it, even though it looks exactly the same almost. the light switch is over here. Let me get my finger in the right spot.
Oh, yep.
And the light was over there, but everything behind me, there's like crap all over the floor. So again, and it's really dark. So I'll figure it out as we go through, but we'll get there. So again, everyone, welcome to the Hype Check Pod. That is our week. We've had a full-on one. So Rich has been sick, Andy's been hungover, and I'm just tired. Like I went to work and my legs did not work because it's been a long time since I've had stairs in the house. Ooh, I'm going to lose weight though. This house is going to keep me super fit. So we'll see what happens. All right. Enough about us and our week. I am super looking forward to this discussion tonight because last week I did not know how I felt about Spider-Man Homecoming, and I know I really didn't enjoy it. And so this week, we're going to see if things are different. But I'm going to start with my favorite person who is the biggest fan of Spider-Man that we've never known. And again, we're going to say that every week. So, Andy, I want to start again with you as the fan of the Spider-Man franchise in general. How do you find, in general, like you like Spider-Man as a whole? Like we're talking all of them. Like let's not hit the 70s and the 80s, but again, hey, who knows? But in the modern era of Spider-Man, what did you think of Spider-Man From Home?
I really enjoyed it. I liked it more than the first one. And on rewatch, I think it's my favorite one. I don't know why.
Wow.
I know it's weird thing to say, but because 3 is really good and there's a lot going on in 3, and And 3's fucking awesome. But I don't know. I enjoyed the humor in this one. There was some dark undertones, and yeah, look, I really enjoyed it. I was really entertained, thoroughly entertained by this one.
Nice. Rich, how about you, man? How did you find Far From Home? Because again, you've watched them all recently, so
Yeah,
again, you're going through the memory of. I watched it a couple of months, like what, a month ago, maybe
about a month ago, yeah.
just. So yeah,
Month or two ago.
it's not like we force you to watch it again, because you may hate it after that. Going, I've watched it 4 times this year and I hate this movie. It's shit. But no. Hey man, what do you think? What do you think of it?
It's a good movie. I don't rate it my favorite out of all. But now thinking about our conversations last week, I kind of make it equal to the first one. I don't rate it higher from after last week's conversation. There's certain little things that will go into the spoiler territory, but number 3 for me just kicks it off with that storyline and and that whole end of origin kind of sense for me. But it doesn't deter to the movie. That doesn't deter to the story. It's actually really, really good story. I find it good way of portraying Jake Gyllenhaal's character, which I've just forgotten all of a sudden.
Quentin Beck.
Yeah, Quentin Beck. Yep. And and his whole thing, because I remember him from the comics and the cartoons and stuff like that. So he's a bit different from what he is in there to this movie. So
sorry, Rich, sorry to interrupt, but I guess that's what I want to get from you guys, is because I don't know much about that character from the comic book point of view.
Mysterio?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mysterio he's always been good. He's always been an illusionist and stuff like that. So, but yeah, still a good movie. Still enjoyed it. The 3 main characters of, MJ, Peter, and Ned, always good comedy when you go through that storyline as well. But yeah, I still enjoyed it. And over to you, Dave.
Where do I start with this fucking movie? It was awesome. I loved it, man. I enjoyed this movie. I think he gets me. Yeah, man, I enjoyed the shit out of it. I mean, I'm also really tired.
I'm so confused.
And I'm really exhausted. And see, I like to keep the mystery, or the Mysterio, the man of mystery around it all. But it's like, I was watching it, right? And I don't like the beginning. Like, the beginning kind of shits me. I'm like, but again, we'll talk about that a little bit heavier in the spoiler portion of it. But yeah, man, I watched it last night, and like I said last week, I don't watch these much, so I really don't rewatch the MCU Spider-Man movies. Tom Holland still kind of annoys me, and Zendaya, she was better in this one, for me anyway. But there's just bits about it where I really wasn't a fan of Homecoming last week. Like, it was okay. This one, I sat down and, like I said, I was exhausted, but man, I just enjoyed it. I didn't expect to. I think the Quentin Beck character was a lot better than I remembered. So maybe I just was in a place when I watched it before, like I was like, this isn't Spider-Man, going back to all the Raimi ones and the Garfield ones and stuff like that, and like going back to the older ones that I do remember enjoying. But yeah, man, I really found this one entertaining. Like, for a change, I think the jokes hit a little bit more. I think the story was a lot better than I remember it, and I think it was just really, maybe again, like we said at the end of last week's podcast, maybe just be a bit more open to it. So yeah, man, I don't know when next week's gonna hit. I know I've only seen it twice, and that was a long time ago, like right when it came out. So yeah, man, I'm like you, Gelfie, when you laugh, man. I don't know too, man. I'm confused, but I did really enjoy it. I thought it was actually really well done. I think the pace of the movie was really good. I think the characters were good. And again, we'll go into that spoiler heavy part, because again, going on the rabbit hole trip of finding out information about this, so at least we had some facts around it. There's bits and pieces that I just missed, which we'll talk about, because I was like, don't remember. Oh, that makes sense. So there was a lot in this movie, I think, that that sort of expanded the universe a little bit more. Again, you've got to take into account that this is right after certain events in the MCU, which I can't say because obviously they're spoiler full, so I won't say until we get into spoiler heavy. But yeah, it was actually really cool. So yeah, I'm actually more hyped around this one. And at the moment, this is definitely my favorite out of the two that we've watched and we're going to talk about. But again, we've got two more to talk about pretty much in the next couple of weeks. So yeah. But for me, man, yep, I really enjoyed it last night. And like I said, I could have been completely exhausted and I could have just watched anything. I could have watched Begonia again and gone, yeah, man, that was so funny. That was so awesome. That's not movies now. Well, I guess it is in a way, but yeah. No, it was really good. Question for you guys: like when you watched it again, Rich, obviously take back that month, and Andy, when you watched it recently as well, like how did you think it fit? Because obviously, as we watch it, and again, let's keep it spoiler free. When you look at parts of the story and think about it, and again, this is probably very hard to say spoiler free, but when we looked at the movie and where it fit in that MCU timeline, all the events that had happened before it, do you think they worked and they sort of you could have watched this one as a standalone, or do you reckon you had to watch this knowing a lot of the MCU and knowing a lot of the Spider-Man movies and what happened before? Like, do you think you need all that information, or do you think they recapped? Andy, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it would have helped to have a bit of a MCU background knowledge, like especially with I've gone blank. Samuel Jackson's character is
Yeah.
Nick Fury.
No, very,
yeah,
really
I went blank then. Yeah, Nick Fury. Great start to a podcast. I don't even know the guy's named. Yeah, I think a bit of background with that, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they talk about the blip. So it's after Avengers Endgame.
Yep.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So.
Yep.
So there's definitely connecting things. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a question too, because when I watched it, obviously, fan of the MCU, right? And it's like, yep, I know exactly where we are, more or less. Like, are there things that I'm missing? Probably, but it's like I know the gist of where we are in the timeline, right? But for someone that's not watched and just jumped in as maybe a Spider-Man fan and maybe not a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan, Rich, do you think it would work for someone like that, like to jump in and actually just watch the Spider-Man movies standalone without having anything else around it? Do you think it would work or not?
Nah, I don't think this one would. Like the whole intro of this movie would not work. If you think about it, you wouldn't know who Nick Fury is, Maria Hill. You introduce a character, that's fair enough. But then they go into the whole blip situation and how kids are older than younger and older. And it's like if you haven't watched Endgame or Infinity War, like what the hell is going on? That kind of sense. Yeah. And then it goes on to I don't know if we go. No, I guess we've already spoken about it last week when the whole ending of Endgame reflects on the beginning of this movie, right? With Tony Stark and his kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And even the first one, we're thinking about Homecoming is that it's got Tony Stark and his reflection father figure. If you don't know what the MCU is, you would have no idea who he is. So
no, exactly.
Yeah, you couldn't do these as standalones. Even the third one, you couldn't do it either. So you had to have some kind of knowledge.
Yeah. Okay, I totally agree. Like that's the thing. Like for a new viewer to come into this movie and to watch it, you'd be confused. Like it is a pretty good standalone movie. Everything has a thread of piece of history that you sit there and go, oh, what? Like you can still enjoy it, but you wouldn't get half the movie. But yeah. Okay, a couple of facts about this one.
Definitely an MCU movie.
Yeah, go.
That's
No, exactly. And that's maybe good, maybe bad, but we'll say that for the spoiler. A couple of things about the movie. Production budget was $160, so $160 million, which did it show? I don't know. Again, I'm going to say that for a conversation we're going to have a little bit later because I think some things held up really well, some things didn't, but it wasn't the things that you would expect. Like this movie kind of got me with the visuals at least, where it was like some things I really enjoyed and thought, oh wow, that's really well done, and then some things I think they should have done better, really didn't. And I was like, okay, but that's all right. This one made $1.132 billion. It is the first Spider-Man movie to cross $1 billion. And again,
Jesus.
MCU killed it, right?
That's insane.
Like so almost 400 million US domestic and an international 740. And again, this one I believe probably did well internationally as well, because it's not that Spider-Man centric, you know, Queens, New Yorker, that kind of local American story. It very much made it very, very much a world type of movie. And again, even some of the lines in there where, you know, Ned mentions a couple of things, and we'll talk about it soon in the spoiler part, but, you know, Ned says a couple of things are mentioned in there where it's quite funny, especially when you know that Holland's British. Like it's just like, it's very funny for a British man playing a teenage boy, pretending to be American, talking about Europe, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's pretty funny. But yeah, so obviously
it did help that it was straight after Endgame, right?
Oh yeah. Like you've had the biggest Avengers movie ever, and you've had the culmination of a story that's been building for what was it at that point? 9 years. Like that was massive for the whole Thanos storyline. And then you've got the next movie being this and another one, which we'll talk about a little bit later too, because also there's a couple of tie-ins for that. But yeah, it was actually really riding on the coattails of that part of the MCU that was awesome and fantastic, and everyone had invested in. And then we got to the end of the Infinity Saga, right? And it's sort of like, okay, where do we go from here? So I like that they did this with this movie. So again, it made a shit ton of money. And again, for me now, looking at it again, watching it last night, well, this morning, it was one of the more fun seen in a while. I actually went, this was just a good watch. So I think that's where this one got me. It was just like everything seemed to hit the mark as it was supposed to, instead of all the other ones where sometimes there was a little bit too much, not try hard. I don't mean it in that sort of respect, but it was like things were a little too hard. The comedy in this one, for a change, kind of flowed. And I was like, again, this is my opinion. I thought it actually, things just flowed in this, like, you know, the two teachers, like they were pretty funny in regards to their dialogue and the things that they were talking about.
Oh, there is.
Flash was a funny fucker in this one as well. Yeah. Like he was actually really entertaining. Like, yeah, he's annoying, but he was less annoying in this than he was in Homecoming. Like Flash was a prick in Homecoming, but in this one, he's just like, you know, he's got that duality of fandom and hate for people. When again, we'll talk about that soon. But yeah, so this one did pretty good. You know, $1 billion, not bad at all. Especially being that
it's not even talked about. It's not even talked about. Like it's $1 billion movie, and no one talks about Spider-Man Far From Home.
Sorry, Rich, were you going to say something to me?
No, it was just expected of Marvel films, right? So that's why after this, everything started to bomb.
When was the last time?
Go Andy, say it.
What? When was the last time Marvel reached $1 billion?
That was it. Like, but which one hasn't made $1 billion, right? Like after this sort of one, it started to take a drop, and they also had a lot of things with the Disney Plus side of it, right? So all the stories sort of now seem to go into that. Oh, we don't know what to do after Thanos. We're going to do the multiverse saga. We're not going to talk about that right now. We'll hold that for spoilers. But hey,
who was the other character? Was it Kang, the Conqueror? Trying to think. Who was the guy that got kicked off?
What's his name? Jonathan Majors. Yeah. So yeah, the Kang storyline fell apart because all the stories seemed to go in different places, and then there was the legal issues with Jonathan Majors and his personal life. And again, he was found to be not guilty, but that didn't do anything. It destroyed everything. But even in X-Men, right? It's not the same Kang that you would expect because it's still a tie into the
Captain
MCU,
Marvel
right?
made
So,
$1.12 billion.
and that was before
Really?
this. So keep that in
Yeah.
mind. That story was before this because a couple of things
Yeah.
we'll talk about in the spoiler part. Unless you've seen Captain Marvel 2, half this movie won't make sense. And again, I had forgotten everything. So when I watched this last night, things that
Wow.
should have surprised me more didn't. I was kind of lost where people were in this point in this story. And I was like, and then this morning, as I did my research, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes heaps more sense. Oh, Captain Marvel was before this. Oh, that gives me more of an idea. And it was like, you know, and you shouldn't have to do that for movies. And we do, obviously, because this is the kind of conversations that we have, right? Like we deep dive things as well. And so we want to come in with information. So, yeah, what is it? All right, we're at our normal spoiler-free part. Let's get into the spoiler heavy because we've all mentioned and tiptoed around a couple of things. So let's go spoiler heavy. Let's get into it for everyone. Yes, this is now a spoiler-filled episode. I had forgotten about where Fury and Maria Hill were. When it started, I had completely forgotten that. Nah, this is not real. They are not them. Like, I had forgotten that, right? It's like
It doesn't click at first.
It didn't click until this morning when I watched someone else talk about it and go, oh shit, yeah, that's right.
They're the
Forgot about
scrolls, right?
They're
Yeah.
scrolls, right? Yeah. So there's
That's
certain
why-
pieces of dialogue. Yes,
They
there's so
acted
many
really
pieces
dumb.
of dialogues. Yeah,
Yeah.
they weren't dumb. They just didn't know. Like, again, it was very much around that they were impersonating Fury. They were impersonating Maria Hill. They don't actually know that much. And again, it would have been more funny if you had a flash of Ben Mendelsohn or something, so you can actually have, you know, his character at least be seen in there. And again, it's not, but it would have been interesting to see because again, we've seen them and we've only seen them in the previous movie. So Captain Marvel laid all the groundwork for this film, which I had completely forgotten about. So the fact that Fury says in Captain Marvel, no one calls me Nick. It's either Fury, no one calls me Nicholas, no one calls me whatever. It is Fury or, you know, boss or whatever. So when the dialogue happens at the very beginning, it should give it away for people that have seen the previous movies, right? I didn't remember that. It was 2 a.m. Like I had like hey man, this is cool. But why isn't he?
Happy.
Isn't he up in space? What?
That's a real happy though, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So Fury and Hill were not. They were Skrulls, and they were what's his name? It's Ben Mendelsohn's character. Hold on, man. I'm gonna have to scroll because I've gone blank.
Talos.
Yeah, I've seen Captain Marvel once.
Is it? Is it? Yeah, and his wife, and again, she dies in another Marvel movie, and you see it off screen. I know it's Secret Invasion. You don't see her die. Yeah. She's dead. She's just dead, and you don't know what happens. And it's like, okay. And their daughter is also floating around somewhere else as well. So, like, there's all these things that you don't realize. But yeah, man, I had completely forgotten about, you know, that not being Fury, which made sense with all these pieces of dialogue that happened in the movie because I was like, oh yeah. If you listened, and again, was I paying much attention? Probably not. That's why I found it so entertaining. but yeah, like it was a big catch. So did you guys remember that? Did you guys?
No.
I mean, Rich, probably you're more in an advantage than most people though, because you at least are watching a lot of the movies. Had you watched Captain? Like you're watching it in order, right?
Yeah, but when I first watched it, I didn't pick up on it at all.
Nah.
No way I would have picked
exactly
up on it.
No, not at all. Andy, do you remember that they were, or did it sort of just click then when we started talking about it? You're like, oh,
just then, no, because I remember thinking to myself, I even said out loud, like, man, he's really dumb in this movie.
Yeah.
Like he's acting really strange. And I'm like, he doesn't know this. And I'm like, I didn't think Captain Marvel once. And
that movie once. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not as if I was invested in the lore or anything like that. So I had no idea until you guys started actually talking about it. And that makes sense.
And it makes sense why they don't know anything, or there's certain lines. Like, again, there was a part about when Fury first introduces Peter to Quentin Beck, Mysterio, whatever you want to call the character at this point in time, and he goes, he's not from your world. Like, there's all these lines where it's like, it's like, that doesn't make, of course it makes heaps of sense, because they're not from this world either. So they're not talking about, but what they've done with the trailer for this one is they had to change Fury's dialogue in there. So they come to your world, not our world, or all these things. They changed the dialogue in the trailer. But also, Sony's such a funny company. Sony also refused to not put this trailer out, even though it was released in January before Endgame. So they were talking about Spider-Man in a trailer for a movie that was coming out, even though everyone in the story of the MCU timeline was still, he was still vapor. He was still blipped out of existence. So Peter hadn't even come back. He was dusted, right? So Sony just went, no.
Remember that. No. I remember that controversy.
Yeah. Sony's like, nah, fuck it. It's a Spider-Man movie. It's coming out. We want to promote it now. It's like, you're going to make $1 billion. Like, we all know you're going to make it. You'll be fine. But yeah, there was a lot of really weird things.
To be fair, though, they were never going to kill Spider-Man off.
No way.
Well, no way. No way. Correct. And it's like, okay, well, we know he's going to come back, but
it's way too early.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, what? It's one of the few movies that have 4 sequels or 4 components at the moment where they've gone and made different types of standalones for it. Like, Thor's the only other one that has this many movies. Not even Iron Man has 4 movies, right? It's like, okay. And technically, if you count Civil War, then maybe, but it's not. It's a Captain America movie. So in that fact, it's like, and we don't count, Falcon the Winter Soldier. We don't count, Brave New World. We don't count those ones as Cap movies because it's not Steve Rogers. It is Falcon. It's Sam. So yeah, man, this one's 4. It's got the tie-ins everywhere else as well. So again, Civil War, Endgame, Infinity War. Like Peter's probably been in more movies than most people in the main Avengers cast. So it's like okay. One thing I wanted to ask you too, which again is silly, but it's funny. I didn't remember that May had got blipped. She got dusted. And it's more funny. What do you guys reckon about why Happy? Why did May, out of everyone in the world, choose Happy as someone for her summer fling? Rich, why Happy, man? Just give me one good reason why Happy.
One good reason why. Well, he was. Oh wow. They had some kind of connection in Homecoming, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
So I guess they could just continue on with that. I can't see why not.
Yeah. Andy, do you reckon Happy was a good choice for May's love interest, even though nothing really happens?
Yeah, nothing really happens.
I think it was good. It was a good tie-in because it made Happy part of Peter's life. More so, it was like another sort of connection there with his aunt and dating his minder, I guess. And in this one, because Tony's gone, Happy is his sort of father figure.
True.
So yeah, it kind of makes perfect sense to me. Yeah.
Okay, it also makes
Hulk is dating May.
Maybe, and it makes it more sense on number 3, right? Because it kind of whole relationship that goes into another level.
Unhappy.
Unhappy.
And that's it too, because I think for that tie-in too, it's such a. I think this is one of the things that got me in this movie again, watching it last night, was it was really well done that, there was the Salvation Army drive, May was doing her funny story about her disappearing. Peter was having his really awkward conversation, sounds more like a child than ever before. Like, sounded even younger. But then, you know, when Happy comes in, he's like, "Oh, is that a new dress?" And she's like, "Oh, is that a new beard?" And you know, they had that little conversation, like Rich said before. They have that rapport and that chemistry, which is always funny to me, because it's like Happy's happy. Happy is silly as. He's the forehead of security, remember? Isn't it? You know, it's like he's not the most, you know, attractive man, but he has all those things and those traits that are important to May, right? Because, you know, he did read all the messages in Homecoming. He did pass all the information on to Tony that was going on. So he actually was doing that job of minding Peter. And obviously May finds out at the end of Homecoming, and they have some sort of relationship, and then blip happens, dust, etc., and then everyone comes back. But it makes kind of sense, because like you said, you both said it, Peter and Happy have this relationship, like that's even stronger now with Tony being gone. So it makes sense that, you know, her nephew, his mind, Happy cares for Peter, and you can tell very much by the end of this movie that there is a bond. Like at the end of the movie, when he picks him up, you know, they hug. Happy's glad to see that he's okay. Also, he's understanding of the things that Peter's just fucked up. And then he just goes, "Well, cool. I need a suit." Just jump to the back of the plane, puts on Back in Black, you know. It's like, you know, it has everything how it should be in regards to them having that relationship where it's sort of come full circle. So, you know, he's using Tony's tech, and the look with Happy when he sort of glances back and he sees him when he's got the virtual fucking gauntlets, fixing all the equipment, making his suit customized like Tony would with an Iron Man suit. You can see he's sort of proud. He's just like, "Oh shit, this is the right person to have these bits and pieces, or to use Tony's tech." So it was really well done. So no, I think you're both right. I think you really fit in. What do you reckon of Mysterio? How did you take the Quentin Beck character? I want you guys to go first, because again, I have thoughts. Rich, how do you not enjoy the Quentin Beck character in the movie? Don't worry about the history outside of it, but how do you find the character? How do you find Jake Gyllenhaal movie, mate?
He was a good choice. Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio was a good choice. I can't see that being with anyone else as like any other actor, to be honest. But yeah, it's good to see a good actor playing, you know, he was kind of a best friend and becomes a villain as a twist. So, and he did that well. Quentin Beck as a character, which you find there's a history within there, that he's got connections to Tony Stark and all that kind of stuff with his group. Yeah. Made the Mysterio character, because again, I've read from the comics and cartoons, you know, he's always an illusionist. He was always some other guy. He was never a superhero, so he was never had superhuman traits or anything like that. So he used these illusions to get to Spidey and stuff like that. And he did the exact same thing with the drones in here, right? So it was a good way of doing it. And it was more tech, more version of it. So yeah, I didn't mind it at all.
Andy, how about you, man? As the fan of the Spider-Man series, how did you find his villain in here? Because again, he did it well. He did the character well. What do you reckon? Like, how do you feel about it? Do you think it was a good one compared to, because we had the joke last week that, you know, does Spider-Man have the best villains actually in the MCU besides Thanos? Because, you know, Vulture, Michael Keaton was awesome. He was a good villain. Again, do you think Quentin Beck, the Jake Gyllenhaal character, was good as a villain in this one, man?
I do. I think he played the angry, smart nerd with a vengeance really good. I don't have much of a background with the character itself, so I assume that they changed it so he was more like this tech-savvy illusionist, and he's got like a whole team working behind, you know, this whole project, this whole illusion with the elemental monsters and all that kind of thing. Because at first I thought, man, these elemental monsters are shit. Like, Oh, big water monster. A fire one. It looks exactly the same. And I just thought this it got kind of seemed out of place for a Spider-Man movie, like with that kind of a villain. And then it made sense that it was this Mysterio guy. And I liked that he was able to con Nick Fury, well, the fake Nick Fury. He managed to con everybody. He fooled everybody, and to get what he wanted. And he's a pretty psychopathic kind of guy as well. You know, like I thought
he had severe issues.
Yeah. And I thought, what? Like it was good how he managed to. I thought he was really good actually. I do think he was good. I think he managed to. He doesn't look like a threatening person. Like he looks like your friend. But he's a fucking maniac at the end of the day. And his last illusion where he kind of takes Peter or Spider-Man on this trip, I thought it was awesome. That was like one of my favorite parts of the movie. And it kind of reminded me of something like something Scarecrow would do in Batman, like just take like in maybe in like one of the Arkham games where they obviously Scarecrow isn't really a scarecrow. He's like uses this drug to send Batman into delusion.
Manipulate the mind.
Yeah. And I kind of thought that was similarly done in this movie.
No, and that's it too. I'm totally agree with you guys. Like I think this is the better villains. Again, like we'll wait until next week, and then we'll the week after, and we'll talk about the Spider-Man villains in the third one. And obviously, we've got a new one coming as well. But yeah, no, I totally agree. I think he did the character really well, and I think he manipulated the shit out of everyone, like even up to like Talos, as like he manipulated them to a point where, again, them not being the real Maria Hill and Fury, he still played a very paranoid Fury, right? So again, it made it very, very much where, Fury has nothing to go with, but he has to put his trust into this person from another dimension, supposedly, to go and actually come through and protect the Earth, because the Avengers have fallen apart. And again, we get the memorial at the very beginning of done by the school, right? Everyone who's gone, so Tony, Cap's gone, Black Widow, like there's all these things have fallen apart, and then you got this person come through looking like a hero. And again, I think that's the real good gotcha with it in this case as well, is that when he talks to Peter on that ledge, before the last elemental, supposedly, like they have that sort of heart to heart. So again, he's taking on that mantle of Tony. So they're having that conversation where he's giving him advice and, why you don't have to go be a kid. And again, we all know now as the audience that it's pure manipulation, because all he wants is Edith, and we'll talk about Edith later. But it's more about just manipulating this poor teenage kid to get what he wants. And I love that you don't really see the twist until he reveals, right? You really kind of believe him. Like you think, okay, he's come from somewhere. Yes, he's fought them, whatever the backstory of the elementals is. And then when he does the reveal, you sit there and, like you said, and he's a fucking psychopath. Like he really is. Like it's pure hellbent because Tony fired him because of Bath. And I think it's like $11 million or something for those VR glasses. And again, it takes you back to a past MCU film where you can sit there and go, they've tied this in really well. So they make his motivations as the villain really realistic. And again, I like how they start to show people in the crew, right? Like the kid that shoots his eye out with the BB gun, like, in A Christmas Story. Like, you go back to Iron Man 1, that's the one that Odin yells at, telling him, Tony made an arc reactor in a cave with a bunch of scraps. That's the same character. Like, again, you don't really tie that in until you start to go, oh, yeah, it is him. And they've brought him back. And then as you look at the movie, and again, we'd have to do another rewatch on top of a rewatch. Like they're always in the background. Quentin's in the background when they're in and when they first get to Venice. There's, you know, the scientist, the guy that created the drone side of it, the one that's always out the computer, the one with the glasses, the one from A Christmas Story. He's actually in a different cafe. He's in the crowd, and you always see him with his computer. So every time you see the elementals, he's actually in there, and they do show you shots, and then they show you shots of the guy that created the story and all these bits and pieces. And it's not until you rewatch it again, sit there and go, oh shit, okay. Like they've been everywhere in this whole movie, sprinkled through the whole movie, and you don't really realize. So yeah, exactly. And you makes until you sit there and go, oh wow, everyone's everywhere.
He reminds me of this, just like one of these angry Silicon Valley bros, you know. Doesn't get his way, so he starts his own company, and he's, you know, he wants to.
It's Justin Hammer.
If you ever watch Silicon Valley, he reminds me of one of those guys, you know. Just and they're probably realistic. They fly off the handle and just, you know, get really, really angry if someone fucks up. Yeah.
And I was watching. There was a what was it? It was a new Rockstars video, and they're talking about how he's really twisted, but they go through these stages of Quentin Beck, and like, you know, you don't even know this actually is the Mysterio character, because there's a couple of parts where they talk about it. Quentin Beck was created in the script of their dialogue that was created by the guy that did the story, right? So you don't even know if this is the real Quentin Beck in this universe as well. Like there's that twist. You don't even know if they've given the character a name, which is Mysterio, but it doesn't mean the guy, Gyllenhaal's character, is actually Quentin Beck. It could be someone else as well. So it's just like it's a massive mindfuck around. Oh, okay. But yeah, no, they did it so well in regards to making him an effective villain, because you had the build up, the relationship. He builds a relationship with Peter. He starts to get Fury's trust, and then as soon as the reveal goes, you see what kind of psychopath he really is, and how it's really about him, because he's like, you know, he talks about all the people, but it's all about him being front and center, him being the hero, him taking on the legacy of, you know, Iron Man, being the next pure only Avenger, and then, you know, gets Edith and takes over that as well, where he just wants to be in the forefront of everything. And I think they did that really well in this movie. So yeah, and I agree with you guys. He's a really good villain. Again, we'll take the scenario of him out of it. Do you think when they did the reveal, they did it effectively? Do you think that was a good reveal? And you reckon the reveal of when they're in the pub, the bar?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Because I wasn't expecting. I mean, I was expecting a reveal of some sort, and I liked how that whole pub was an illusion. Like, and everyone was playing.
Exactly.
That was really cool. And that reveal is, you know, that's the lengths that he's going to go through to take it to. Well, I can't remember what his goal. I know he wanted to get the glasses, or Edith.
Yeah.
But what was his goal once he got those, which he does get?
He wanted to be like Tony Stark. He wanted to be the Avenger. He wanted to be the head of the Avengers.
He wanted to be the ultimate superhero.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And that was his whole motivation through the whole thing. And even with everyone else, like, it was all about him, even at the end where she's fixing the suit, like his cape and all this. The dude was just all about, I'm going to make this show, right? Yeah. And so, and they did it well, like I said, through the whole movie. Like, on a first watch, you obviously wouldn't have realized that, you know, he was going to be, unless you're obviously a comic book, that he is a villain of Spider-Man's, and you know, most people would have guessed that anyway, but just when is the turn coming? But the way they did it, the story is really good. It was just a revenge story on all the people that Tony Stark had fucked around, or Stark Industries had fucked around, because again, like, you know, the main scientist guy, he was kicked out by Obadiah. He wasn't kicked out by Tony, but the same thing applies, right? It was Stark Industries that was their downfall. They weren't good enough. They didn't succeed. They didn't provide whatever for Tony or Obadiah or whoever was in charge, and sort of had that vendetta against Stark Industries and Tony Stark as a whole. So, yeah, especially after this is really that movie where Tony's gone, right? So he's only recently passed.
Yeah.
It's not like
so there's like a vacuum.
Yeah,
Everyone's trying to fill that void in some way, like whether it's Happy being Peter's sort of surrogate dad. Mysterio trying to replace him as the next, you know, superhero. Yeah. So
yeah. No, nice. All right. Let's take a break and keep going with this conversation after, because I think there's so much to talk about. I don't know where to start because there's so many things. Like, we've only really scraped the surface on this particular movie, but for where we are now, I think it'd be really good to sort of have a look at a couple of the fights. Let's look at things like Ned and Betty and just all these things. And also we are going to
Ned's the man. Ned's
a machine, man. Sits there playing games, plus Halbert there, and then the next minute he's got a girlfriend. And a lot of they just did it for Europe. It's just like full summer fling. He's like, no, we broke up. But let's say that too, because we obviously have to talk about Peter's relationship with MJ. Because again, I got thoughts on that one. This is where with certain parts of the movie, my mind sways a little bit from, this was really good to some of these bits, but let's hold that thought. Let's come to a short break, and then we'll come back and we'll continue with Spider-Man Far From Home. All right. See everyone in a sec. Hey, everyone. Just a little bit about us. We're the Hype Check Pod. We love to talk about TV shows, movies, physical media, video games, and all the things that we enjoy about them. If you're enjoying the content so far, then please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. We're on things like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and obviously here on YouTube. Please leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about the episode, us, what we're talking about. But again, if you think we're going above and beyond, then we'd really appreciate your support. You can do that by buying us a coffee. How do you do that? There is a link down below in the description of all the places that you can find the Hype Check Pod. Please join us every week as we talk about the things that we love. And again, it is in our own opinion. So again, you can like it or you can disagree with it. But as long as you join us every week for the conversation, that's all that's important. Take it easy, everyone. And now back to the episode. Hey everyone, we are back for the second half of our Spider-Man Far From Home honest review, rewatch, revisit, Spider-Month revisits. I don't know what to call them. All right, just before we went and had a little bit of a break, we were looking at, the villain. Have we really talked about Peter very much? Probably not. So let's deep dive Peter Parker, because I want to start on this one. Tom Holland still annoys me. And again, I don't know what it is. This movie was much better. I think he's sort of come into the role a bit more. Saying that, he's been in 4 movies prior. It's not like 5 movies prior to this one. So he sort of got his feet around it. And I think this one, he did a lot better. And again, I'm not a Tom Holland hater. I just need to see him in something good. And hopefully the Odyssey changes my mind and he does really well in that. I don't know. Who knows? But if anyone can make everyone amazing, it is Nolan. So, hey, let's see what happens with the Odyssey. Back to Spider-Man. We should call it Holland Month. Hollandia. Because, it's a month full of Tom Holland movies. Anyway, sorry. I just had to have that thought. Let's deep dive the Peter Parker Spider-Man character, because for this one, like I said, this one felt the most natural of Spider-Man out of the last couple. And obviously Homecoming, I just didn't like the character in that one. I don't know why. I still can't put my finger on it, but this one felt a bit more natural. Peter was a bit more awkward, so I don't know if that's me taking all the baggage again from the Spider-Man character and going, this is what I expect Peter to be, a little bit more bumbling. And again, I found it funny. Is it a sick old man joke? Yes, when he bangs the bell twice, you know, bangs his head twice. The first fight that he's with Mysterio. I enjoyed that part. Like, I found that funny. Like, that slapstick old school comedy still gets me. I found it funny. And like, I know it's silly, but it was cool. And then he held up the clock tower from dropping on. And who knew? I didn't realize it was an orphanage. Like, again, there's all these things as you rewatch and you taking content around it. But, you know, he saved the orphanage, which is great, even though, you know, he smashed himself in the head twice. I was still smiling. It was good. But with the Peter Parker character, and again, his relationship with Ned, his relationship with MJ, this one actually started to piece those things where his relationship with Ned separates a little bit because obviously somehow on a plane ride for 8 hours, Ned and Betty fall in love, which is cool. Again, you know, it can happen. And again, I think it's a good dynamic again to have, you know, Ned, the man in the chair, really being very separated from Peter. So Peter's really on his own in this movie. And again, the relationship where I mentioned it last week because this was the gripe about this movie starting was that he's already infatuated with MJ. So let's have a little bit of a dive into the Peter Parker, the relationships. I'm not going to call it a love triangle, so isn't. But again, his relationships with his friends, because obviously we know now, moving forward into Brand New Day, those relationships don't exist. They don't know who he is. He has fucked up. Strange has done his magic. And again, everyone has forgotten who Peter Parker is. Well, who Spider-Man is. So those relationships are gone. Andy, how do you think the relationship with Mary Jane was in this one? Because, sorry, MJ, not Mary Jane, because that's not who she is. It's Michelle. It's Michelle Jones, not Mary Jane. What do you think the relationship with MJ is like in this one? Did you like how they were in this movie as people discovering each other,
I did.
having a relationship and going through? Yeah, what do you reckon with their relationship, man?
I did. I think the story kind of onto him at the end of the first one to a degree, and in this one, they obviously like each other, but in they're doing this, you know, dance, I guess, you know, and I think in general, Peter Parker in this movie is just a lot more into his own, and he is a bit more bumbling, I have to admit. Like you said, Dave, I think he's worse in 3. I think he's a bit over the top in 3, and that's why I like this one better, because he suits the bumbling role a bit more in this. Because when you're overseas, you are a bumbling idiot. You know, you don't know what the hell's going on. So it's kind of like that. I like I think MJ is a lot better in this movie too, Dave. I think she's a bit more front and center in this movie than she was in Homecoming, and that's probably why she's a lot more. I don't know. It's just a little bit more dynamic, and there's a bit more rapport with the two characters. Because I thought that they had good chemistry in this movie, and I also think Ned had like I do like Ned. It's just that he brings the comedy relief. No, there's no but. Like, he brings the comedy relief.
Yeah.
But he does it in a way that's just it's just a good vibe. You know, it's a very, very PG, very, very friendly. It's very.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's very much of the age, right? Like, again, that's how teenage relationships work, right? How long were they overseas for? What was it? 4 days? 4 days?
Yeah.
But that's how you are. You know, it starts off, they have a chat, the relationship starts, it's the infatuation stage, and then it's like, yeah, cool, we're done. We're off. And it's, you know, teenage love. It's like, they're everything to me. And then 4 weeks later, it's like, no, next. You know, it's very different. But they did it really well. Yeah.
I think so too, yeah. So yeah, I do think Peter's definitely, this movie just works for me better because he has more of a range of emotions too, because he's got happy to deal with as well. He's got the betrayal of someone else that he thought he looked up to with Mysterio. Yep. So there's a lot going on, and I think he juggles it really well. And then he reveals to MJ that he's Spider-Man. So it's there's a lot going on with the character, and I think he shows like a vulnerable side, a comedic side. He does it all. So I think for me, like this is his best role part is Spider-Man.
Yeah, Rich, how do you feel, man? You agree with Andy? Disagree? Yes, no.
Yeah. I agree. The relationship point of views are spot on with MJ. The whole, she's catching on, then he denies it, and then he turns it saying, "Yep, I'm Spider-Man. Let's get the hell out of here," kind of sense. Was pretty good. They did it a good way, and they didn't rely on that whole love triangle thing, that semi storyline with what was his name? Brad, wasn't it?
I like
Yeah.
Brad. Brad's that prick you hate in high school. The
100%.
the other one vying for affections, right?
Yeah.
I was happy that they cut that short. It didn't need to drag on, and it was all that kind of thing. And you knew that MJ had only had feelings for Peter and all that kind of sense. So, and then the whole opera thing, he needs to get out with what was the other persona? Night Monkey or something?
Night Monkey. Night Monkey.
So yeah,
and again,
it was
that's
good.
Ned, right? Ned created the Night Monkey name. Like it also fits in too, because even the banana, right? When May throws the banana, is Peter Tingle's aren't there, and then it's this Spider-Man costume and the banana. The banana is why he gets pulled over at the airport, where they actually security go through his bag, right? Like they're building up the Night Monkey, right? To even Ned making up, going, it's the British knockoff Night Monkey. It's like,
But yeah, everything
it is good.
Everything it is good, right? It does go on, and he flows on from that, and he then has his relationship with Happy. Like I find that relationship with Happy just spot on, right? So he leaned on to him as his mentor now, and then towards the end of he asked for help and all that kind of stuff. He was in a bad situation, and Happy doesn't say anything. He just goes, it's part of who he is. It's part of how Peter is, and he's learned how to move on, not to dwell on it and stuff like that. So, and that relationship with Happy was great. And then it leads on to part 3, of course, and goes on from there. But like all the relationships in that, in this one is fun. I liked it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, and like you guys said, I think they built this one up a lot better than they had in the previous movie. Previous movie. Sorry, I know there's 5 of them. Yes, previous movie, singular solo Spider-Man movie. I think they built up the relationship with MJ really good. I think they did a lot better. And again, I know she's not the primary focus of Homecoming, because obviously Liz is the love interest. She's the infatuation, and her father is the bad guy, right? Like that's good for story beats. It keeps the actual plot going. But this one's really good because, like, I think you said it earlier on too, Rich, is like there's that relationship with MJ that's just, they both really like each other, right? And like they're like, does she piece it together really? Yeah, sort of. Like, I mean, she could be wrong. She's taking a stab at it. Like, if he said no, I'm not, and she's like, oh, okay. Like if she accepted it, when she doesn't for a little bit anyway. But I think they built that relationship. They made her just as awkward as Peter, which was really kind of good.
Yeah.
Where in the first one, she was annoying, awkward. She was like you just didn't like. I didn't like the character. I think her MJ in the original and Homecoming, Michelle's annoying, right? But in this one, she's just as awkward as Peter is. So even when they're on the bridge at the end, right? Like the conversation, like they hug, but then it becomes very much 2 awkward teenagers, which I think they did really well. And this is why they're married in real life, because the chemistry starts to build in this movie where it didn't in the first one. And again, like I said before, that is normal because she's not the love interest. She's the, oh, here we go. This is MJ at the end. So again, it's that, oh, okay, cool. There's the love of Peter's life, or it depends on what story you take it from, right? So I like that they built that up. I like I like that she also, when she gets stuck in the tower, and she just grabs whatever weapon's there, and then she still comes running down the bridge with her weapon as well, just like she's going to do anything to help. But there's that they build that their relationship is as awkward and as new as it is. They're just there for each other, and it's really good. And I think they did really well with taking Ned away, because I think they're really very much prepping Brand New Day. I mean, obviously it wasn't written at that point in time, but it's like, what is Peter's life like without one or the other? Like this one, he gets MJ, but loses Ned to a small percent, right? Because obviously he's just hanging out with Betty. They're doing things that new couples do. But I think they really built up that, Peter being only having one of them. I like the fact that Ned pulls the face when when MJ, Peter, and Ned walks in the room, and Ned doesn't know MJ knows. I like the fact that his face was very much like when he first saw Peter for the first time. It's like, and it sort of just like stunningly makes up the excuse, which I can't remember now, but even the excuse was pretty funny. Like, it's just like, the fact that she knows, and they call them what, the Friends of Spider-Man or whatever it was, or is it Friends of Spider-Man? He says on the bus, FOS, Friends of Spider-Man or whatever it is. I can't remember, but I think they built up their relationships to be really good. And again, at the very end on the bus, they built that relationship between MJ and Ned, which obviously carries on to 4. So I think they did a really good job with putting them together and actually making them feel better. And I like the fact that they moved out of the US. And again, like I said at the very beginning when we were talking about the budget, I think this is why this movie did well, right? They moved it away from, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and moved it to, a global setting. So, when they're talking about Prague, when he's having the fake fight with Mysterio, and he's in Paris, and, Mysterio's using that manipulation of the story that Peter had told him about. This is what I want to do. I want to go with the girl that I like and tell her that I like her and give her this pendant, right? And he weaponizes all the shit later on through the actual movie to actually affect Peter mentally. Or when he uses the old, the homemade suit. Like, there's all these things that he does in the movie. So again, it really works into, they build relationships well in this one, which they really didn't do in the first one. Like, again, Ned and Peter are really awkward in Spider-Man Homecoming. MJ's technically, she's there, but she's non-existent as a character. This one, they actually put them in and built those relationships. Even though they're not always hanging out, they started to build it and make it look more like a friendship. So, I agree with you both. I think they did a really good job of tying the characters together, so they actually felt like they had, I think you said it before, Andy, they had a rapport, right? They actually looked like people that were friends, unlike the, not uncomfortable, but just unnatural in Homecoming. They looked like they were actors pretending to be mates. Like, they're not. But in this one, it really looked like people who were friends. So that was really good. Andy, you were going to say something, man. I saw your brain go. You're going to say something, man? You had a thought?
Yeah, I had a thought. I guess maybe in Homecoming, like, they weren't friends at all, and that's why she was. It was a bit awkward.
But even him and Ned didn't act like friends really either. Peter was an asshole.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
Like, Peter wasn't the best type of friend. Like, in this one they seem more natural.
Well, in Homecoming, he wanted to be more Spider-Man, right? So he was trying to be the Avenger. So his whole personal relationship.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So
he's ready to dump Ned. As soon as
like
he could.
in a second, yeah. So remember, he said he was always up waiting for the call. He was always waiting
for the call, waiting for the text. Yeah. And I guess that's a really good point to keep going, right? Because when he is talking to May at the beginning, don't forget to pack your suit, the whole part at the airport, which we touched on before. Like, he really doesn't want to take the suit. He really wants to go on holiday. He just wants to be a teenager, right? And go and talk to his crush and give her the what's it called? The black
Dahlia.
Black Dahlia? Dahlia? Yeah. Like, he just wants to go and hang out with his friends and the girl that he likes and just be a normal teenager. And I think this one and I haven't seen No Way Home in forever, so can't remember how it leads into it. But having all these elements built up in this one, hopefully make the next one more enjoyable. Because, like I said, this is not my favorite part of the MCU, but after watching this one, it's really made it different because I think the relationships really start to grow. There's friendships. The dialogue's a lot better. The jokes made me laugh, and again, take it with a grain of salt because I was half asleep. Not really, but I just enjoyed watching, and I think this is really good. All right, a couple of things that we haven't talked about. Yeah, no, go, man.
So I guess I'll chuck in there that we did discuss about Peter in this movie is that he no longer wants to be an Avenger anymore. He's already been there, done that, and like you said, he's wanting a holiday from that life. So it's a very different kind of Peter.
Well, it would affect him. All the stuff that happened in Endgame affected him, right?
So he's still broken, right? He's still broken. His Spidey sense doesn't work. It's like
that's a big ass cup. Through at the end. That is a big ass cup.
It is. It's the Dark Knight cup. I got that cup somewhere in a box, somewhere in this house. But but that's it, right? Like he's still pretty broken, and maybe that's the difference with this movie, right? The other ones, I think you nailed it, Rich. He wanted to be an Avenger so bad. That was all he wanted. And now Tony's dead. Cap's technically dead. Like, we all know where he is. He's an old man, But, Natasha's gone, and they've dusted and returned. And technically, in this part in time, we've also lost the King of Wakanda as well. So, there's all these things that happen. He's like, being Avenger is not the greatest thing ever. Like, it's actually playing a toll on it. And what's this? I guess he's still 16, right? Even though he was dusted, he's still 16. So he was 15 in the last one. He's dusted, come back. So 16, 17. So he's gone through a lot. He's lost Tony. He's been there at the end, and so I think that makes a lot of difference. Where he's actually accepted he just wants a normal life to a point and still be Spider-Man. And again, maybe that's what gets me with this movie is it actually has that dichotomy of them, the push and pull of being Spider-Man, right? Being Spider-Man, being Peter Parker, is it's very much always in the comics is the push and pull of Peter's life and Spider-Man's life, and Spider-Man is always just that little bit more important, but he always wants the better life for Peter. And I think they do that really well in this one. Like, they bring a lot more drama, they bring the loss. So I think they do this really well in regards to building up his pain. So when he finds out Beck is who he is, like, the break is really there. And then obviously the very end, which we'll get to eventually. But I think you guys nailed it in regards to that. There's just this growth in this movie which we didn't see in the first one. And again, the first one's still fine, like I said, but this one just has a better paced story to actually build the relationships that maybe we missed in the first one. Or did the first one set everything up? Do you guys think Homecoming set this movie up for those relationships? Rich, do you reckon that built it?
Yeah, I would say that. Because
you reckon?
Well, MJ had a kind of feeling towards the end of the movie. He was that awkward person that was always looking at him and all that kind of stuff. And the stalker, right? Because he was the detention and being at lunch and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of get that sense of feeling that she's looking at him, all that kind of stuff. And then in this it's twisted, right? Because at the beginning of this film, they're planning on how he's going to, not propose, sorry.
Hold on, Richard. Easy, man.
Yeah.
Too early.
To tell her his feelings, right? So it sets the stage from the way it's, I think. Does it give you when's the plan talked in like what, the first 5-10 minutes?
First couple of minutes. It's after you meet Beck, right? It's the first thing of him and Ned. Yeah, it's the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah. So it gives you that idea that there's something must have happened in between the first and second one that he leads on, that he gets feelings for her and all that kind of stuff, which he didn't see on the first one. So, well, yeah, as I said, from the first one, it seemed like the opposite way around. It's Emily looking at him, you know, even in the Washington Monument and stuff. She's looking at Spider-Man, trying to piece things together, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and then the whole Ned relationship's different. But that has to, yeah, you can't be the man in the chair the whole time. So I would say.
Yeah, no, good points, man. That's so true, and you never think of it that way, right? Like Ned's gone from, so for the last year, let's say year, right? Ned's been the man in the chair as well, too, right? So even this is a bit of a break for him in the holidays, like you know, the bachelors in Europe, everyone loves Americans, and again, I love that because that's funny. In Europe, no, they're not always loved. I guarantee. Why are you smiling, Yelp? As a person that's gone to Italy many times and is of heritage of Italy and hungry, man. What are you trying to say, man?
The money's good.
The dollar does well.
Yeah, money's good. Grazie.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. Did you guys enjoy that? I think, again, for me, as I thought this as I watched it last night, as they're traveling on the bus, right? And in my head, it isn't the same, but in my head, it just made me laugh. All I could think of was it was very much a Griswold's European vacation. Like it was like built around that, just shit happens. It was just what superhero shit happens. But again, it was very much a Griswold's going through Europe. And again, it was
that's a good point.
Places that they visit.
We literally get
I love
that.
Yeah, exactly. And Brad takes the photo. It's going to use it for blackmail, and then he gets Edith, and then calls in a drone strike. And again, all these things build up to the eventual end. You see the drone. The drone is exactly the same as what they use for the elementals, and which we haven't even talked about. We haven't even got to the elementals and that twist in the story as well. So we'll get there. But yeah, I love that fact that Brad gets a drone strike and he almost takes him out because Peter's just a kid. He's a teenager with Edith, and just goes, do we take him out? Yeah, whatever that means. And then she almost blows up the bus as well. And also the jump, when he jumps out, there's a scene just before where you actually see MJ. She has a view of Peter doing these things. So again, when we come back to MJ putting everything together, she's been paying attention to everything, and she lays it out pretty obviously when they're on the bridge and they have the discussion, and then obviously they find the part of the drone, and it's like, oh, okay. From that part of the story, obviously, we see the psychopath side of Beck, where he's like, we've got to find it. Where is it? This is the thing that can undo everything, which it does. And again, he's not wrong, but it undoes everything. Did you guys like the actual part of the elementals? At the end, when we know now that what they are, they're drones, it's all been crafted. Everything, all the fights are choreographed, and they're visual pieces of storytelling. Did you like that part as that reveal comes in? Did you like the action as you go into it, knowing now how everything happened? Did you piece together all the things in the water? Did you notice that when they attack Fury's car, it's bullet holes, even though it shouldn't be, because we know they're shooting. The drones are shooting bullets, but again, it's supposed to be some mystical thing. So did you like the reveal of how they go and explain the actual elementals in the story? Andy, did you like that part? Because I thought that part was done really well, because it's just that full twist of Beck's story. Did you like that part with the elementals where the science behind it?
Yeah, I wish. Yes and no. I thought they just look so generic, like as like these villains, and I think they could have got a little bit more creative and had something else from the Marvel world that would have just been mind blowing. I don't know exactly what, but rather than these generic elemental things that serve a purpose for the story and all that kind of thing. But I just think they could have gone a little bit more creative with that. I don't know, like what would be a cool Marvel villain, from any of the stories, like from X-Men, from Avengers, Fantastic Four, something that's kind of, or even Spider-Man universe, that would have been, interesting.
Rich, what do you reckon? I know what I think. I think with Mysterio, it makes it hard, right? Because, like Rich said at the beginning, he's an illusionist in the comic series, right? Then
Yeah,
it's
I get
not
that.
this technology as much. He's an illusionist, so they've made it more viable for the story, right? But I don't know, because I think it would be really hard to make him any other way. Like, I guess maybe not, because we got Wanda, we got witches, and again, the teacher's always talking about, there's witches around, and we know there is, because there's Wanda, there's Agatha, and all that shit. That's about
Look,
to
it
happen.
makes
Oh no,
sense.
that's already
The
happened.
story makes sense. Like the elementals make sense. Like Mysterio is the main villain, he's the focus. But I just thought they could have got a bit more creative and brought in something amazing, mind-blowing as one of Mysterio's illusions.
Yeah. Rich, what do you reckon, man?
Yeah, it's my only downside pretty much to this movie is the elementals. Like, there was no real need for it, if so to speak, because elementals is basically like, if you're looking at comics, they were villains, like in the comic book versions, but not Spider-Man's villains. I think there was someone else's. I can't remember who. But they could. You needed another way. I think they'll just try to make it to a story so they could be best buddies at first, and they needed a way to go through that. And I think that's the only way they could have thought of it. But I can't think of any other way that you could. Yeah, you probably could thought of another. You could have thought of another villain that could have joined them together. But the elementals was kind of a weak one because, water, earth, fire. It's kind of, I don't know. It seems too easy. I don't know, so to speak. And they had to use drones. Then you figure out it's the drones and stuff like that. But yeah, if the only other way I could think of is make Mysterio a magician, in that kind of sense that you guys were talking about, and do it something different. But again, he's an illusionist, so they kept on that, and then they did it for the drones. I probably would agree with Andy. They could have used someone else's villains, like from X-Men, Fantastic Four, someone, and just they will continued on with the whole story that he was from another dimension and all that kind of stuff, and they had that storyline, and then they were going after the same villain kind of sense, and then you could have twisted it, and those two villains were both in league in some other way.
That's something you'd see in a comic book, maybe, but not. It'd be pretty hard to do in a movie.
So that's my only downside was the elementals, but other than that, it was not bad. Like the way they twisted it and the drones and all that kind of stuff, and the way they did the end as well, right? So he needed the drones and all that kind of stuff, and fight with and then Peter gets Peter Tingle back. I love that part. So
the Peter Tingle.
So it's all good in that sense.
Well, it's a perfect segue, Rich. Like again, it's like we planned it. What do you guys think in the end? No, because this is it. We'll go back to other bits and pieces as we go through. But I really enjoyed the end, because I thought the end was it was a good fight. I think it pushed Spidey to his limits. Again, they're mindless machines trying to kill him. So again, that made it really good. And I think this part, and I mentioned this at the very beginning, because one of my few gripes in here again was the CGI, and I mentioned it at the top of the show. But some of the CGI was really shit, and some of it was really good. And the funny part to me was the one that was still shit was Spidey. When he's doing that very beginning movement around, as he's running through Venice, and he's he puts the mask on and all that shit. That was really bad. But then you look at the elementals and you look at Mysterio, and the actual CG there was actually really good. but they couldn't do really good Spider-Man. I was like, come on, man. Like, seriously, it's Spider-Man. When you've been doing it for 5 years, how is it you still can't get that to be more natural? But you can make the dude fly against the water, the water elemental look actually more realistic. And that was one of my things with it, was that some of the CG, especially with the Spider-Man, the Peter Parker character, was not great, but everything else was okay. Even with the drones at the end, that's when he started to actually, I bought the Spider-Man movement in there. But the rest of the movie was really, Spider-Man just wasn't great in regards to movement, in regards to visuals. But then the end, that final battle with all the drones and all those things happening, like they did that really well. You guys agree, disagree? Andy, do you disagree with the end look good? Like, do you agree that the CG was iffy in parts, or am I completely insane because I have issues with CGI? I don't know why. Every time we talk about CGI, it's like I have issues with things. It's like, Project Hail Mary. Space looked fake. No shit, it looked fake. It's a movie, but
I think you have a point. Like with CGI, I'm the worst person to discuss CGI because I don't see. I sometimes, unless it's really obvious, it just goes past me. I accept it for what it is. I didn't have a problem with the CGI. I like the ending. I thought the ending was solid. It's a good way to, he goes through that trauma of reliving, like Tony Stark, death.
Zombie
Tony.
Tony.
Zombie Tony. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was good.
Like I said, it reminds me of something like Scarecrow did with Batman or something. But his fight with the drones, and then the whole scene of the elementals coming apart, and then fake Nick Fury going, this is, we've been had. Or something.
I never leave a soldier behind. It's like,
no, I thought it was good. And then the reveal that, Mysterio reveals who Spider-Man's identity is, leaves it on a bit of a cliffhanger. Look, I thought it was good. I think it was solid. I think it was just as good as any of the other Spider-Man films endings. This obviously continues the story, leaves the thread open for the next one really well. And although I'll say they must have known what the story was going to be in part 3 if they were going to reveal who Peter Parker was in the second one. So they kind of painted themselves in the corner, but I guess that was their plan anyway.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Rich, what about you, man? Did you like the end?
Good point, because that's why I always say that these 3 films are his origin stories. So his first, second, and third as his one big origin story for Spider-Man. That's why I always thought that they had a plan for this, and it was a great storyline. And these 3 movies put together is a great origin story for Spidey. And that whole end of it is kind of another step of him becoming who he is, right? So he gets back his Spidey sense, his Peter Tingle, the whole, and then the whole thing about trusting his trusting Happy and all that kind of stuff, because he picked him up, brought back the suit, all that kind of stuff, and it leads on to the whole, he's getting his confidence back and all that kind of stuff. But like, imagine being hit with all those imagery and then hit by a train, and then trying to figure out how you're gonna, get back to getting this guy, payback kind of sense. But yeah, the ending's great. I love it. There's also the group fighting back with the drones and all that kind of stuff with Happy and MJ and all that kind of stuff. That was pretty good as well. I didn't mind that scene as well.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so it kind of all ties in, and then then when he's there limping and going towards MJ, that whole, he's relieved that she's okay, and vice versa. Progresses with their relationship in that kind of sense. But yeah, then it leads on to, how they are at the end of the film, they're swinging across New York and all that kind of stuff. But the reveal of him being Peter. I don't think that was the biggest reveal for me. It's JJ.
Ah,
The fact that it was J.K. Simmons.
Yeah,
Hi, it's the same J. Jonah as Raimi's ones. But hey,
he,
that's
he,
all right.
that's huge. Yeah.
yeah. I remember in the cinemas when I watched that. Oh, what the hell? And I was like, kind of like laughing my head off at the same time. But it was great, like to bring him back, like to have him back as JJ, and then having him still hating Spider-Man and all that kind of sense. And it kind of brought me
Oh,
back
yeah.
to the whole video game kind of sense, how he was in, I think Spider-Man 1 is in that kind of sense. So yeah, it was great to have him back, and it's good to see him in, like, again when he was in number 3 as well.
I like the fact that he's also like Rogan-esque. Like, it's a
It's a podcast.
a hype podcast, right? Not a hype check podcast, but a hype podcast about and his test for media, right? Because it's very much around JJ's hate for the Spider-Man character. Mysterio is a hero, and he turns it around. So, sorry, I was Googling while we were talking because I think you both brought up a really good point about, obviously, these 3 Spider-Man, the original 3 movies, were written by the same people. So, with input from others, but they were majority written by the same guys. So, yeah, Andy, I think you're right. They had the story. So, and Rich, you probably nailed it on the head too as well. Usually we're in one story arc, right, of the origin. It's been 3 movies. Well, even to, if we take in maybe Civil War as well, like the introduction, like it's 4 movies building up the intro to Spider-Man. And Brand New Day will be the one where it's actually Spider-Man now.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
And the intro is done. We've had with great power comes great responsibility. And again, spoilers for everyone.
Yeah.
We know we're in the spoiler section.
That's
It's
a good
made
point.
it says it, not Ben. And it's like, okay. Like they've built an origin story over like what? Let's be generous, 6.5 hours of cinema. Whereas usually one film or the first half an hour, the first act of a movie is where you build the origin and you go from there. They've taken the whole time to go, no, the whole thing is the origin story, and then we go with Peter Parker's Spider-Man story. So, yeah, man,
So
the really good point from both of you. Yeah, sorry, Rick.
Yeah, even if you think about it, you go into Infinity War and Endgame. Infinity War, he's a bumbling idiot. He goes on and then follows Tony. He's like, "What the hell are you doing here? You told you to go away." That kind of
goes to space.
Yeah, goes to space, and
you're only Spider-Man to go to space.
And then
But yeah,
the whole he's doing pop culture references and stuff like that, and and then in the third one he's still learning, right? He's still got his Iron Spider outfit. He's doing the Spider kill and that kind of sense. He's still learning. He's
I
still
don't remember. I don't know. I can't remember that freaking movie, man.
In Endgame, he does it.
That's what we're going to watch in the next couple of weeks. But and that's it with the story, right? And I think you guys nailed it with that follow through of the story. Where again, maybe that's why I didn't like Homecoming as much. It's the first act of the introduction to Spider-Man, where Act 2 and 3 are usually where the more drama comes, and then the outcome, right? So maybe that's why ones I don't hold close at all, because it's just like it's the first act of this series of movies, which is telling that introduction where, the beginning of a movie, sometimes it grabs you, but a lot of the time it lays the foundation, right? And maybe that's why this one was more entertaining. And again, I think it's a good way to look at the movie. And again, even for me, like you mentioned 3 then, and I think Andy's mentioned as well, Rich. I don't remember 3 at all. I remember the end. I remember what happens. I remember Andrew Garfield saves this universe's, this dimension's
Spoiler
MJ.
alert.
Like, yeah, sorry, we're still in spoilers. So again, if you haven't seen No Way Home, sorry. Andrew Garfield's in it, and he saves MJ. This multiverse, this dimension's MJ, and it's just like, okay. But yeah, everything else in that movie, I remember Doc Ock. I remember Goblin, but I don't remember shit from that movie. So I'm actually really looking forward to watching it because this one really did pique my interest in regards to, maybe I've been really harsh because I really sat there for 2 hours, enjoyed the movie. When it finished, I was like, oh, shit, that's finished. Like usually I sit there and go, oh man, this one's a bit long. Like it's like, okay. But that last night watching it was really, really just fun to watch. And I appreciated it a lot more. And I think this is where I'm now excited to watch the final of the 3 modern day ones before we get to the new one, obviously, in a couple of weeks. But yeah, man, I really think what you and Andy have said in regards to that tie-in is probably where it sits, right? And again, I don't know. That's my opinion around it because I think it was done really well. But this is a good middle act. And it's really where you sort of get invested with the characters. They build their relationship and the rapport. And, 3 is the resolution of this particular conflict. And then we move on from there. So you guys have really changed my mind tonight. Like, again, I do enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I haven't turned to going, oh, this movie shit. This movie was really fun and I enjoyed it. But I am really now looking forward to that completion of this story arc in the next one. So again, looking forward to it. All right. What haven't we talked about? We haven't talked about Edith. Oh, we talked about Edith a little bit. Just a tiny bit. But again, obviously that's the whole crux of the story, right? Beck wants Edith. And again, I don't know how he knows how Edith's there, but it's there's obviously he wants to be the main hero, the Avenger, whatever it is, but also being able to take over the drone, that kind of, plays really into it. And again, the fact that they are the same drones that they use for their elementals as much as what they used to try and kill Brad was good. What have we missed? Is there anything we've missed, boys? Is there anything you can think of that we haven't talked about that's important to, Far From Home?
Well, we spoke about the scrolls.
Yep.
So we've spoke about that. We spoke about Peter's and JJ towards the end. I don't think we've missed anything really.
I got one. And again, Andy mentioned it. So again, I think you both mentioned it, to be honest. I remember you both have talked about it. I like that the swing at the end with MJ. Like, she's terrified. It's not like everyone else where you go flying with Superman or you're flying with swinging with Spider-Man. Everyone's full calm and shit. Like, this is normal. Yeah, fuck, I'm flying through the air on some web. Don't know where the webs come from. Don't know what it's sticking to. And I think finally for Zendaya, she did really well in that. But I like that they swung it, and she hated it. And I love at the end when they touch the ground, she's like, I don't want to ever do that again. Thanks, that was great. Never again. Don't do that to me. And again, she does swing in Brand New Day, but obviously this time she won't know who he is. Supposedly, that's my guess, because there are parts in the trailer where we can catch on that she will swing with Spider-Man, but she will not know who it is. Maybe. At that point in time. So, all right, Andy, have we missed anything, man? Is there anything you can think of?
No, man.
Drawn a blank.
I think we've nailed. I think we covered everything. Mysterio as a character, being a villain, his ties, all that kind of stuff. We've covered everything, really.
Looking at the wrong Spider-Man movie. I'm looking at the one we did last week. Nope. Okay, I think we've nailed most of it. So, boys, what did you give Spider-Man Far From Home on our rating out of 5? Andy, man, what did you give this movie? Again, I haven't looked at anyone's, so I'm a blank canvas and I have no idea. What'd you give it, man? And you can revise. You can go back. You can go back and have a look.
Yeah, no, I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Okay, that's high for you. Okay,
it is high.
Yeah, that is high for you.
Yeah, but again, it's his favorite franchise. It's his favorite character in all cinema.
Really enjoyed it.
Indiana Jones. Rich, what do you give it?
I gave it when I first watched it, I gave it a 4.5. But after rewatching it this year, I gave it a 4.
4.5.
When I first watched it, But this year I gave it a
Okay.
4.
Okay.
So it's gone
I
down
think for me,
It's gone down for like that
yeah,
elemental
but there's
part.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the elemental part for me. That just yeah, and it's the whole premise of the first half of the movie, like majority of the first half of the movie, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, at least the first half of the movie. Yeah, okay. I'm stuck between 3.5 and a 4 because I really did
Wow.
enjoy it. I think it's a lot better than average because no, it's enjoyable. And again, after watching it last night, I could watch that movie again and enjoy it. You know, like it's not up there with things like Winter Soldier where I watch it consistently, but it's like something I could sit there and go, I could throw that on and know that I would enjoy it again. And I think that's the difference between it being a 3.5, which is always good, to something that's like, oh, it's so rewatchable. Will I feel that way after watching it a couple of times? I don't know. But I think if I could easily watch it again, I could throw that on now and sit there and just enjoy it as much as I did last night. Yes, it's 2 days in a row, but whatever. I could sit there and enjoy it. So yeah, I think I'm going to give it the same as you. So 4 across the board. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone
right.
gave it 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
That's really
Nice.
high for us. We don't usually give them that high. So
No.
yeah, man. Okay. Spider-Man, the MCU trilogy at this point in time is actually doing pretty well, considering last week's chaos of Homecoming.
It'd be good to see what we rank all the Spider-Man movies, each individual.
What do you
For
mean? All of them?
All of them.
Oh, I think we should do that. I think we
Rank
should really do that.
What is it?
Yeah.
What is it? We got 3 Toby, 2 Garfield, we got 3 Holland, and we got 2 cartoons.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Do we include Spider-Verse though?
There is Spider-Man. He is involved.
It's different. Miles.
No, but I know they're fitting, but do you think that's unfair for every other movie that we put in Spider-Verse? I know where Andy sits. I know, and that's your favorite, right? Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, or just as in general?
No,
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse.
I need to rewatch. I need to rewatch it again. I watched the trailer. The trailer was on the 4K, but yeah.
It'd be tough to rank them.
Sorry, Rich, you go.
Like, so what's that?
But that's it. Why not? Should we throw them all in there? So let's include.
That's 10. That's 10 movies.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a ranking. All right, let's do a ranking.
We should
watch at least most of them.
We should do it after Brand New Day. And then Brand New Day might be 11.
That's a really good call. All right,
and
let's table that one for the Spider-Man ranking. Let's rank them all. That means we've got to watch all of them again. I haven't done it in ages. That's actually a really good call. All right. We are going to rank the Spider-Man movies, including the animated ones. Well, the modern day animated ones. Let's not go too far. Let's not go back to the late 80s or the early 80s. That might be too far for it. But yep, let's do that. All right. We'll table that one for after we see Brand New Day, because I think that'd be actually really interesting. Should we just do it live and rank it? We'll rank it live. So come in with nothing. We'll just go and rank them.
Yeah, we could do that
and have a discussion around. All right, let's do that, because I think that would be really cool. All right, boys, we have made it through 2 out of the 4 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. So we are halfway. We have done really well. All right. I think we're all more in shock that we enjoyed it and it's that high, because now I'm very, very interested to see what happens with next week's. 2 weeks time, because for everyone, we are going to check out The Odyssey. So Christopher Nolan's new movie. Again, this is why we laughed about including this being Hollandia month, the Holland month, the month of Holland, as well as the month of Spidey. We are going to check out Odyssey as well for Christopher Nolan. So we will have a break next week. It will be talking about the Odyssey. Again, it will be just a general discussion, because obviously it'll be the first time we see it. It does get released this week in Australia, so we'll we'll do what we can do in regards to discussing how we feel about it. But we are up to what you've been watching, and again, it's going to be very interesting because I'm very interested to see what everyone's been watching this week, because I know, Rich, you said I've been sick and I've been watching stuff. So that could mean 50 movies for you. So, Rich, I'm going to start with you. Hey, man, what have you been watching this week?
Shit, do you really want to start with me?
Yeah, man, because
So
I know you got heaps. So I
don't have much. I don't
have much, but it's the same as always.
All right, so it's Richard's segment of what did you watch after last week's. What did I watch last week? It was Independence Day. We already spoke about that. So I watched. Oh no, it was Good Luck and Have Fun. We spoke about that. So I watched The Day After Tomorrow to kick it off.
Oh wow,
nice disaster movie that popped up on my what's it called? Disney Plus recommendation. So my wife and I decided to watch it, and I've gone through, and I was gonna start through all of them, but I have gone through the Spider-Man villains. I went through watching Morbius.
Why?
I went through it.
Do that? You did them all?
I did Morbius.
I saw you did Madam Web, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
So I did Morbius and Madam Web like back to back, so day after each other, and wow, that's a whole different discussion. You got to talk about?
Did you do Craven?
No, so I haven't watched Craven, so I'm actually up to that.
I haven't seen Craven. I haven't seen all of Morbius. I haven't seen any of Madam Web. So okay, Rich, how did you feel about the Sony Spider-Verse, excluding the animation?
Oh my god, what were they doing? I give it Madam Web was a bit better than Morbius, but Morbius, what were they thinking?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh really? You reckon Madam Web was better than Morbius?
Yeah, by half a star. But yeah.
Yeah, but that's one and a half is fine, man. That's no problem there. Yeah. Sorry, what did you rank them? What did you rank them?
So I gave Morbius a 1.5, and I gave Madam Web 2.
Okay.
Nice.
That's terrible for my rankings.
And I haven't watched. I refuse.
Not like that.
Rich likes everything. Just for everyone on the internet, Rich does not dislike many movies. These are dislikes. These movies he did not really enjoy.
Like compared to Day After Tomorrow, I gave it a 3.5, which is a great movie. I really enjoy that movie. So then I went on to the last Fast and Furious movie I had to watch was Hobbs and Shaw, which I enjoyed.
How did that hold up? How did that hold up?
That holds up actually all right. The Rock does his thing, and Jason Statham does his thing, so it still holds pretty good. I didn't mind it. And then I watched 2 first showings. So I watched Hoppers, which is an animated movie. It's a Pixar movie. That's actually really good. It's actually really interesting, and so it's about environmentalism and all that kind of stuff. But the way they've done it, it's great. I enjoyed it. My wife and I watched it and sat down, and the kids even sat down and watched it as well. And another one was a Kevin James movie called Solo Mio, which is pretty good. I didn't mind it. It's a romantic comedy kind of thing. So he's left at the altar, at the beginning of the movie, and then enjoys. So he has to go through his honeymoon by himself. So that's the whole premise of the movie. And the last one I watched is Sicario.
Oh wow, that's a change of pace. Holy shit!
So
Sicario.
So I was testing my new toy, and that looks unbelievable on that projector.
Yeah, I bet.
I don't know how your screen looks any better. It was pretty fucking good before.
and now it looks 10 times better. Trust me.
Nice.
That's ridiculous. That's not.
Too many movies. But then I will go through Craven this week, so there'll be. Oh, and I did catch up on.
Yeah, let us know, man.
Oh, you're up to that.
You did catch up on X-Men. Oh, dude,
all 4
episodes? You waited 1 hour and 50 minutes later. You decide to. Okay, all right. table that one. We'll hold it for a sec. We'll talk about that in a sec. Mr. Gelfie, what did you watch this week, man?
So, movie-wise, I only watched Indie Raiders of the Lost Ark. A
Nice.
bona fide 5-star classic.
Yeah,
So good. After being when you're hungover and you want some comfort movie, that's my go-to. It's fucking awesome. I did fall asleep in a few bits, but that's all right.
That happens,
Funny,
man. It was the hungover part.
Yeah. But funny enough, every single time I watch that movie, I still freak out. That's Alfred Molina at the beginning of that movie.
Yeah.
Still freak out. Yeah.
It ties into this month, man. It's this month, the Spider-Man.
I do have a question on Raiders, though. How do you guys feel about? How do you guys feel about the ending? Like when they
it wasn't supposed to be that way. It was rewritten. Wasn't supposed the arc how it happened then when everyone's face melted and all that shit and everyone gets taken out. That wasn't the original ending. It wasn't written that way. Seriously, man, put me on the spot. I can't remember. I believe that. The face melting and all that. They wanted to make it more graphic with the Nazis, but it wasn't going to end that way. It was still on the island, but I remember hearing somewhere that was changed to just make it a bit more dramatic, but it wasn't the way it was going to end.
Look, I have no problem with the ending.
Which part? The fact that if you close your eyes, you're going to be safe. That bit, that part in particular.
Yeah, that. And why did they? And I get the Nazis had to die. Like, don't get me wrong. I just
it's a Steven Spielberg movie. The Nazis had to die.
Yeah, all they did was open the ark and say a few words, and everyone died. I don't understand. I quite don't understand why.
So the religious point around it is you had to be of a certain level of faith to be able to see the tablets. The reason they were melted was because, let's just say it for what it is from a Steven Spielberg perspective, the Nazis were evil. And they were not supposed to see the sacred tablets.
Don't come at me.
And that was it. That was why, if it was someone of a holy nature, supposedly, they would be able to look at at least the broken parts of the Ark of the Covenant. Because they were evil, they were punished for the sins of it.
I felt it wasn't explained. That's all.
Yeah, it goes on to the Last Crusade, right? It goes on to the Last Crusade, the end of that as well. The cup, the chalice. So it's the exact same premise.
Exactly.
Cool. All right, and
ask away, man. Anything else you want solved? Just ask me and Rich, man. We got it. as long as it's from 2020, maybe 2010s back,
I might be able to help. My hangover brain is just open it. What's that?
Why is everyone melting? And why is if he does this, he doesn't explode?
I'm caught up with X-Men, so
are you all caught up as well? Cool. Are you all up to date, Rich?
Yeah, I just watched episode 4 today.
You just did 4? All right, cool.
So good.
Anything else? Did you watch anything else, man?
House of Dragon.
I'm
back in.
All of it? Like all of it?
All up to date. Season 3. I'm up to date. Yeah. So I'm up to date. I've been watching week by week. So I think it's been 4 episodes now.
Yeah, I might binge watch that one. I'll wait.
Good. It's got me back. I'm back in on this world. That's really good.
Yeah, season 2.
Maybe one day I'll watch some of it. Maybe maybe start from the beginning. Maybe watch it just from the beginning and see what happens. I don't know what everyone's talking about. Yeah, I know.
So what have you watched, Dave?
So talking about X-Men.
Yeah, let's go.
Because I watched episode 4, I punished. Well, I'm not going to say punished myself. So I don't know what's going on with me this week. But it must have been a happy week of viewing. I watched X-Men Apocalypse and I watched Days of Future Past because I watched the animated series and I enjoyed Apocalypse. It's not the best movie ever made, but I don't I didn't hate it as much as people make it sound. Is it great? No. But it's
No.
an X-Men movie, so who gives a
But
shit? It was cool. And Oscar Isaac
it has its moments, right?
wasn't that bad. Yeah, man. It was. I sat down and watched it and just went, this ain't that bad. I mean, it's not like what I just watched in the animated show anyway.
It's missing. It's missing.
But
It's missing.
No.
You know what? I don't like how they recast
a real massive
Cyclops.
villain.
Like that Cyclops character
Yeah.
that they got is fucking weak.
Mm.
He's just fucking weak. That guy. He's not fucking Cyclops. Really badly miscast.
Yeah.
There's not enough. There's no Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had a few things missing. Yeah. Anyway.
So if we go back, because I watched it Apocalypse first, because I was like, I'll just throw it on. Let's just say, ended up watching that because I enjoyed it. I was like, I'll just start Days of Future Past, and then I watched all of Days of Future Past, which is awesome.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, and it's just really good. So I want to go back and revisit the other two. I'm not looking forward to Dark Phoenix. Like, I'm not ready because I just don't really remember it being very good. But I do watch First Class, not frequently, but I have watched it quite a few times, and I enjoy it every time I watch it. I think the two leads, like McAvoy and Fassbender, are so awesome as it. They match McKellen and Wheels and Professor X, Patrick Stewart. Like they're so good. And Days of Future Past, when Charles talks to Charles, it's just like, fuck yeah, this is so good. Like they've done it well on both sets of stories. Like the originals, they are perfect castings, and for the the prequel sequels, man, those two are awesome. So yeah, they did really well. Jennifer Lawrence annoys me a lot in them. Like, I don't know why. Like, she's still good in it, but it's just like she's just a whiner. Like through all of them, it's just like, you're blue. Just suck it up. Just get over it. Beast is blue. Yeah, he's fine. He doesn't care. He just comes blue when he needs to. But but yeah, man, I really enjoyed it. And this is sorry, Rich, go.
You need to go back and watch the Days of Future Past in the animated version.
I'm also thinking about going back to the original X-Men. I was just like, yeah, okay. Because, this is obviously tying into my high around the first 4 episodes of season 2 of the Disney Plus X-Men 97. It is just so good. Rich, we didn't get to talk about this last week because obviously you hadn't seen it. On top of everything else, you've watched it. Man, what did you think? And again, can I start with episode 2? Did you like the intro? Did you like the intro?
Oh, yeah. That intro was awesome.
If they don't spin that off into its own X4 series, come on, man. Like, that's the perfect. I mean, it could be included in this one. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But, man, come on. That was awesome.
You can now do X-Force and X-Factor, and you can have 2 different spin-offs now. So
like, they can just keep going, right?
And everybody loves Cable. I'm sorry, but everybody loves Cable.
But they do it so good in that one, and it was such a good episode. Again, we'll go back to the beginning. I know, and it was just my hype around it because I watched that intro like 10 times before I watched the rest of the episode. I was just like, this is so good. And again, the inclusion of X-Force, again, they did it really well. Jubilee was awesome in it. But okay, all right, cool, man. Let's pull it back to the beginning. Hey, man, how have you found the first 4 episodes of season 2, man?
They're good. Luckily, I watched season 1 because I didn't.
Okay, because there was a lot of pause there for me.
I had forgotten. I had forgotten how it ended in the first season for some unknown reason. I had forgotten how it ended. And,
wow. Okay.
And now when it continued on, how Wolverine lost his adamantium and all that kind of stuff, and then the whole tease that Gambit might be coming back and with Apocalypse as well. So I had forgotten all that, and then to lead on to the whole Apocalypse saga is pretty good. The number 4 is probably the best out of the 4 so far. Other than because X-Force was kind of great, but doesn't beat the
It was a
whole.
full side episode. It wasn't. It was a hey.
Yeah,
If we decide to spin this off, could we do it? Everyone lost their shit. And just went,
exactly.
yes, fuck.
So you guys are gonna
Yeah.
hate me. I had no idea what the fuck was going on in that episode. I was like,
X-Force.
X-Force.
It
what the
was.
fuck?
It
You're bringing
wasn't.
X-Men.
It wasn't the fact. It was just that it was a cable centric episode.
Yeah, I
And
know,
it was like,
I know.
fuck yeah. Like I mean, there's a billion fucking X-Men comics, including the breakups. So yeah, but I was just like, oh man, this is so cool because they could.
So
I mean,
they could
pure selfish courage.
They could bring Deadpool into this. So you've seen Deadpool 2, obviously, Andy. That's when you probably see X-Force. That's the whole. Was it Deadpool 2, right? With the whole Juggernaut and all that kind of stuff. That part. So that's where the storyline leads into as well. So there's so many different variations. It's unbelievable in the comics, and so that's why a lot of people were losing their minds that this could actually happen. So, but yeah, it could be cable centric and move on. But it doesn't beat the episode we watched today. I watched today was unbelievable.
Yeah,
the whole beginning of Apocalypse and fighting Magneto and Charles is crazy.
That was sick.
Andy. Now you get to talk. Now we're not really spoiling. Sorry again. Spoiler heavy for X-Men season 7, season 2, the first 4 episodes. How are you feeling? Because obviously we couldn't talk about it last week. You're a fan, obviously.
Yeah.
How did you find it? Because did you not say to us last week you didn't enjoy as much as season 1?
Yeah, so far I was like a little bit.
How about now? Now that 4's sort of kicked in, yes, still the same sort of train of thought.
No. It was such a good episode that I'm definitely back on board. Because it's all apocalypse centric. It's like early apocalypse. So, but now we're gonna get full blown apocalypse in the 90s.
Yeah, it's
gonna be awesome. I guess season 1 had different things going on, even though it was all connected. Like they had different characters like Mr. Sinister and who else? What was that fucking guy? Trust.
Sentinels.
And all that. This is all apocalypse based, and they even had like apocalypse looking like Sentinels in it as well at the beginning. That was pretty cool. Look, it can only go up from here for me. So, yeah, I
was worried because like last week I was like, it's on par. Last season was fucking amazing. Like that was some of the best X-Men in general. Like they did it so well, and like 1 was a bit for me. And then, like you said, like 2, I lost my shit for completely different reasons. All in my head is like Disney can spin off an X-Force, or they can do, anything they want to in regards to a spin-off 97 series, and it would work because they did it this week or in episode 2 to just sort of tease everyone and go, all right, if we did this, would people lose their shit as much as they would for X-Men 97? And I think they would. So Disney's not stupid. If they don't do a side series as well, just to expand it out a little bit, give us more time, I think they'd be stupid not to. Again, it was really good. But yeah, man, the last one was, the last 2, I think they put the story of Apocalypse really well. I think they did it very much around the question around, it was always predestined. It did not matter. Everyone thought they were going to go and make the change, but the whole point was to make it happen. It was never around the fact of going, we can stop this. We're going to go and create this, the ultimate enemy of the X-Men. And they did it really well. I like that you can look at it as going Magneto for not the first time, but was really on board. A lot of people I've seen around the border over the last week, because a lot of them got screeners. So a lot of influencers and social media people got screeners to see it in advance. So they had the first 4 episodes and they watched them. And you sit there and you go, okay, why is it built the way it is? It's really to go and say, here's the story. we're going to go from here, but we want to build up everything. And Magneto being destroyed the way he was really prevalent to the fact that for a change, most people were saying it was all selfish. For me, and this is my opinion solely, I think for the first time he was really Charles's way. He could make that difference and go, if we start at the beginning with the ultimate mutant, by the time we get to where we are today, things really could have changed. Now, again, we know that doesn't happen because everything goes to shit. You know, we've got the good old this X-Men 97's version of Kang in there. So again, awesome. It doesn't look like Jonathan Majors. That's why I was laughing at the beginning when we were talking about Jonathan Majors, Rich, when you mentioned it. It's like, so doesn't look like him at all, but hey, whatever. So they're continuing that, you know, at least that Kang storyline, but it was really good in regards to how they built everything up. I love the fact that Charles was unable to do anything. I love that they do take out Magneto in this one. Like, it was like you sit there and you feel Charles's pain, and this could break Charles in this series, which I'm actually looking forward to, and seeing him break, because he's always been there in this iteration of X-Men, right? Like challenging Brotherhood, etc., all that, whatever. But now the fact that Magnus is gone at the hands of Apocalypse, man, that's gonna be like Charles is freak.
Magnus. Magnus.
And it did so well, right?
Like Apocalypse goes to step over Charles. He does the full Alan.
Yeah. Well, and he uses the line that Magnus used before, you know, an ant doesn't ant, whatever. You know, being more powerful and just stepping over because you're nothing to him. Like the fact that Charles is nothing. It was just like, fuck yeah. what a fucking end to it.
I think we're going to be in for some amazing shit the next.
Yeah. Well, it all leads like what Beast said, right? Because the events that they'd done in the past created Apocalypse, and it probably is fate that they had to do that. It's always been the case that he's always been around. It's never they couldn't deter him. They couldn't, persuade him otherwise. He was always
right? Even when they think they did everything right. Yeah.
He was always going to be Apocalypse, no matter what.
It was inevitable, right? It was going to happen no matter what happened. And this was the turning event to show the creation of him. So, or what he becomes. Even the fact that it's his own ship that he goes to, right? It's just like, it was good. You guys know how many episodes this one is? Is it 10 as well? Is it 10 episodes?
They better not. You fuckers, why do they do that? Just make it 10.
We're almost halfway through.
7, 5, 10 again. Fucking dumb. Just make it.
You guys saw the post-credits, right?
Pretend I haven't had a couple of drinks, Rich, and remind me what the end was. It was Wolverine
with Captain.
With Captain America. That's right. Yeah.
So I did watch that bit.
So
Black Widow, which is funny.
Which is funny. Sorry. And so the next episode's regarding that Weapon X.
Sweet.
Oh, sorry, I just mixed everything together. Wow, way too much mutants this week.
We should do a separate podcast for.
Did they have the sample? Yeah, we should. Did they do this? Was the episode with the sample of Weapon X, like the Weapon X blood, or was that the movie? I can't remember which one I watched that had the blood.
That had the blood.
Yeah, there's a vial of Weapon X blood, and I can't remember if it was the animated one or if it was.
I think that's a movie.
Was that the movie? Okay, maybe. I can't remember. Way too much X-Men this week. I can't remember because I've seen the suitcase. They get. Oh, no! It must have been the movie. Okay, I take it back. Pretend I didn't speak. Pretend I wasn't talking about the movies.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, it's a Apocalypse.
Was it the end of Age of Apocalypse?
Yeah, it's a movie.
Okay. Sorry. Yep. Everything merged into one. This
And
was
they're
all in
going
one
to-
night. I watched.
And they're
Yeah.
going to the lake.
Yep. Okay,
Yep.
that's the movie. Sorry, I watched episode 4 and then Apocalypse and then Days of Future Past in a row because I was on a hype train of it. Okay. All right. So I think you're completely right, Mr. Gelfie. I think we should just do a standalone for what? All of them? Season 1 and do one for season 1, one for season 2?
Just do season 2.
What do you reckon?
We'll just get
Come on, man.
into season 2.
It's only 3 hours if we. Oh, sorry, it's only 5 hours if we watch season 1. None of them go over 30 minutes.
We'll do season 1. We'll do season 1 and 2.
Okay, there you go. That wasn't hard. That was so easy. All right. Well, sorry, that's what you've been watching because we've been watching obviously a bit. And Rich has finally caught up, so we got to have a final chat around X-Men season 2, which is really good now streaming on Disney Plus. So again, Disney Plus free shout out there. Awesome. Boys, we've made it to the end. Holy shit. Wow. And we're all really joyous with 4s all around for Spider-Man Far From Home. Thank you for watching the Hype Check Pod. Again, like, subscribe, comment, do all that good shit. There is the link for our not Patreon for our Buy Us a Coffee, and Patreon isn't there, so it'll come one day, but we'll get there. Next week we're going to have a bit of a pause on Spider Month, like you probably caught on through the podcast tonight. We're going to go check out the Odyssey because obviously all Christopher Nolan fans, supposedly the movie is epic and we want to go see it. So next week, what we'll do is we're going to look at our physical media corner, have a chat about what we've got in the post and what's come in recently for us in regards to physical media. And then we'll also do a separate episode just talking about our reactions, our thoughts around the Odyssey. And then we will get to the final of the current trilogy of Spider-Man movies from the MCU, and we will look at No Way Home. And then the week after, we will be going to see Brand New Day. So a lot of Tom Holland, a lot of Spider-Man, a little bit of Nolan in between. But again, we'll be doing that as well. And obviously, we might save our X-Men 97 catch up to as once the season finishes, and we'll do that as a side episode. We'll do that on its own. So we'll have a big discussion around what our thoughts around season 2 are for X-Men 97 season 2 on Disney Plus. Boys, have I forgotten anything? Is there anything else we need to do?
We're all good.
Confused. I think we're at the end.
We
Awesome.
covered everything.
All right. Jen, you know what? We'll finish and then we'll talk about something that we forgot to mention about Spider-Man, and we'll go, fuck. And then we'll have to do a recap of a revisit of Spider-Man and go through it. But again, everyone, that is the Hype Check Pod for this week. Thank you for joining us. Again, your support is always appreciated. Thank you for those who have watched us live. We are doing the live stream on Twitch and YouTube, and then that obviously goes dark for a couple of days, and then we put up an edited version on YouTube, and we'll also be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So again, check us out in all those places. But again, boys, as always, I know we started late and we've gone as normal. We just got to accept that 2 hours is just a thing. If we do under 2 hours, we didn't like that movie. Like, we just got to accept that. Rich, Andy, as always, boys, thanks for your time. Appreciate your insight and thoughts around it. Again, very highly rated movie, which is something that doesn't always happen, but we obviously enjoyed this version of our Tom Holland Spider-Man character in Far From Home. Everyone, thanks for joining us, and we will see you in 2 weeks for Spider-Man, but we will see you next week when we talk about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Everyone, thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time. Have a good week. See you, everyone.